Hi, my name is Rock Thomas, and I am your whole life millionaire mentor. And I'm sitting here in studio with the lovely Annette Sharp, who is the COO of Rock Thomas International and has been in personal development for decades. She is only 19, but she started when she was one, so it's really perfect. So, we're talking about transformation and the fact that your friends are comfortable with your present and your mentors are comfortable with your future. And it's just a question of choosing which person is going to read the instructions on the outside of the box that you're in so you can get out of that box and level up. And we have a bunch of different programs, and we thought we'd have a quick little chat on a couple of them. And it's always a pleasure for me to be in studio with Annette. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm doing great, Rock. Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited about sharing with the people who are listening today about the 90-day challenge because we have so many different courses. And I think that this is one of my favorites. It's the one where we get to see massive transformation and action in a really short amount of time.
Yeah, and just to give people a quick snapshot, 90-day challenge. So guess how long it is? Yep, you got the first one right, 90 days. It's once a week for about an hour and 15 minutes. And you'll be with myself or Annette or one of our coaches. And they will be disseminating information to you that you can apply each week. And then you can get feedback from the group and from the leaders so that you can tweak. There's nothing worse than taking off in a plane, being a solo pilot, and then losing your instruments and not knowing where you're at. The best pilots are off course all the time with constant course correction. You know, right? Kill the monster when it's small. And so rather than wait until your life turns into an absolute disaster or totally off course without a compass, what this does, it gives you this beautiful period of 90 days, which is not too long, but long enough to create lasting change. And for you to take the habits, the principles of the whole life millionaires and start to implement them in your life. Try them on, get into the gym, pick up the weights, but get some training and mentorship along the way so that you have success. I know for me, myself, I've gone once into a Zumba class, Annette, and
You did?
yeah, I was the only
I
guy,
wish I had been there.
the only guy there. I brought my daughters, my mom, and I felt out of place. But by the time I got to the end of the class, I was rocking it out and having a good time because everybody around me was very supportive and encouraging, and the music was great. And so I chose to have a good time. And I think that growth for a lot of people is like stepping into a Zumba class. It's like initially it feels really weird, but as long as the people around you are on the same program, all of a sudden you can lean into it and you can have a good time. And I think the 90-day challenge is like that. It might feel a little bit weird looking at it from the outside, but when you step inside, you're going to go, what did I wait for?
I think it's been proven so many times that over a 90-day period, you can actually measure and see some change and see some progress. It's very difficult to make significant change in a short amount of time. And sometimes when you go too long, there's there's so many ups and downs that you don't see that major progress. You can really put your energy into something for 90 days and play all out. And we see a lot of results from a 90-day timeline, and people can check something significant off of their list.
Nothing worse than a life sentence, right? You imagine going to prison and people going, yeah, you're in for life. You tend to go, okay, there's no end to it. I think the 90-day allows people to focus and feel like, hey, if I'm intentional for this period of time, I can move the needle, I can make some progress. And it's been scientifically proven that spaced training, right? Information given to you in a small dose each week coupled with the implementation and then feedback the next week to say, okay, here's where I stumbled, here's where it worked, tweak it, course correct is what creates the sustainable results. That's been my experience.
Yeah, and the 90-day challenge was designed exactly like that. So the people who come in, they're not on their own. It's not a digital program that you take and you are expected to see the results by yourself. You'll get together with a group of people who are all on the same track with their own goals, but you'll be matched with accountability partners, and you will have the opportunity to get the coaching and the feedback on what's working and what's not working, which is what helps people to make those tweaks where they get to see their blind spots. They get to see the gap in maybe their belief systems or their mindset, the things that have been holding them back, and get that push to really move them forward. Here's who it's for. It's for anybody who has a big goal that has plateaued in their life, who has something that they want to achieve, but they're not really sure how they're going to get it. They don't know if they've got what it takes, right? Or maybe they know they've got what it takes, but they don't know how to get where they want to go. And so they know something's missing. This 90-day challenge will light that fire to make it happen.
Yeah, I love the way you summarize that. Makes me think that we all hit a ceiling. It doesn't matter whether you're, broke, or you're a millionaire or a multimillionaire or a billionaire. You will hit a new ceiling. That's just the laws of life. And every time somebody's struggling, or one of my coaches, one of our coaches comes to us and says, "Oh, John's struggling," I say, "Did you walk them through the top 10 rules?" And they go, "Oh, yeah, 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 okay." And then when they walk, then they go, "Oh, they're not doing rule number 4, or they forgot about rule number 7, or they're slipping with rule number 8." You are going to get results when you stay on the path, and you're going to slow down your results when you stop doing those 10 habits. I remember when I started doing yoga and I couldn't touch my toes. And the yoga instructor said to me, "Do you see that guy over there?" And I go, "Yeah." And his hands were flat on the ground. She goes, "3 months ago, he was you."
Wow.
And I go, "You're kidding me." And she goes, "No, I'm serious. It's just when you show up, regularly to do it, you're going to make these slow improvements, but you have to do it on a consistent basis. You can't do it once a week, Rock. You got to show up at least 3 times. Now I'm doing it 5 to 6 times, and I am that guy." And so I think what happens when we do this progress together is you get the social proof of somebody else who's like you, or maybe even a little bit different. And then you're like, "Oh my God, if she could do it, maybe I can do it." Or, "Look at him. He was where I was 3 months ago." And so doing it on your own is very lonely. Doing it with other people starts to give you the confidence. And finally, I find that when you lack the belief, if you have a mentor or somebody in the group that looks you in the eye and says, "You got this,"
Yeah.
it can make all the difference from wanting to quit or wanting to keep at it. And we know the only way to fail is to quit.
Yeah. I think that's really the magic in this program. And we've seen so many different incredible success stories come out of it. We had one young man who came in and he had made a goal to house hack in 90 days. And that was a big goal for him. And he actually closed on a fourplex and put $1,500 a month cash flow into his account. And so these are real stories from real people who surprised themselves. And I think that's the part that I get most excited about, is people come in with this big goal, this massive dream, this thing that they want to do. And part of them isn't sure. Part of them is, "I don't really know if I can make this happen." But with the community support and with the weekly check-ins and the ongoing accountability and that mentorship that you're talking about, somebody actually picking holes in the plan and saying, "Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?" The results show for themselves. And in 90 days, you can do really incredible things. I think there's something you say, Rock, I like, which is that it's important every now and then to be intentionally out of balance. And I think that's what this 90-day massive action challenge is all about. It's about deliberately looking at all of the areas in your life and saying, which area do I want to put my attention on? And then also asking the question, which area needs my attention? Maybe that's where you need to look, because there might be a ripple effect in that area that needs your attention that could impact all the other areas of your life.
And there's another layer to it, Annette, and I think this is something that most people don't get, is you've heard of these Tough Mudders, or these Spartan races, or running a marathon, or whatever you want to do, or 75 Hard's a popular one these days. And what I've realized is that people don't want to fail. In fact, people will do everything to cover up their failures. In the 90-day challenge, what we do is we do turn up the heat a little bit. We do bring in content that are modeling millionaires, but it's designed to expose the gap between your behavior as a whole life millionaire and where you're at, and then to provide you with the resources to close that gap. Not to say, "Hey, you should be able to run a marathon already." You'd be running a marathon already if you're a marathon runner. You'd be a millionaire if you had all the habits figured out. So this sense of being comfortable with going, "Oh, I'm not doing a budget," or, "Oh, I don't have a morning routine." And I keep on saying I'm not a morning person, but I could be. And so these steps toward progress that nurture that person on their individual journey is what makes it personalized and powerful for that person's progress, because they don't have to hide. They actually are asked to expose the parts that aren't serving them so that we can help fill in the gaps and move them toward their best version of themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And while everybody's figuring this out, because it is a personal journey, everybody's in their own space in their journey and what they're working towards. We're going deep into the top 10 rules, and we're looking really closely at what are the skills that you have that you can use to help you achieve your goals. What are the gifts that you have? Where are you holding yourself back with your beliefs? How are you going to motivate yourself when things get tough? What perspectives are you holding about life? Does life happen to you, or does life happen for you? So we're going deep into all of those points to help somebody really reflect and say, oh, this is how I'm showing up in my life. And the beautiful thing about it is we can go through it over and over and over again. It's not a one-stop shop when it comes to personal development. We need to keep practicing. And that's what this program really does. It helps us go deep and really practice the lessons that we know. Let's talk really quickly about who leads the program. We have a team of coaches, and we also bring in our board of advisors, and we bring in our board of graduates from M1. And Rock, you pop in every now and then and lead a class. I lead some of them. We're bringing in experts and mentors and coaches to help you achieve what you want to achieve in your life. So you also get different perspectives from our team. And that makes the experience even richer.
Yeah, I say to people is that a person with one perspective that they hold solidly, like life is difficult or money doesn't grow on trees, is less powerful than somebody that has many perspectives that they hold loosely, like, you can make money through being creative and committed. So bringing in the different voices allows you to be taught by a tribe, by a village, through the collective consciousness of different perspectives. So sure, I may have created the majority of the content, but we have people that are really passionate about, increasing your net worth as an example. And what are the tools that we use to do that and measure that and implement that? And what are the books and resources we recommend you read to nurture that part of you? Or somebody else that comes in that talks about, laser focus and the power of where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. And what are some of the ways that you can keep yourself from being ADD like so many people are today? And what are the tools for that? So when you start to put those pieces together, it's nice to not just have one voice, but collectively people that are passionate and have done really well with each rule. And so you get a nice variety of mindsets, and many of them are my mentors, Annette, that will participate, or people that have excelled with the program,
Yeah.
Within the program.
So why would somebody not join this program?
Well, what's interesting is that people will talk themselves out of doing things when there's a bit of an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people have this voice in their head. Well, gosh, look at the books behind me, Rock. I've got a bunch of them I didn't read. A bunch of them I didn't apply. Last thing I need to do is take another course and not succeed. And really what they're telling themselves is that they're afraid of playing full out and failing. Mm-hmm. So we have a saying for that in our world. It's called say yes and figure it out later. And that's why the program is 100% guaranteed. When you invest into yourself, you deserve to be able to bet on yourself. Nobody else is going to bet on you until you believe and bet on yourself. So we're saying bet on yourself, get in the game, get on the field, and then play with us for a while. And if we are not everything we say we are, which is freaking awesome, then you can get off the field and get your money back. So the first thing you have to do is answer this question is, can I do it and will I do it? And the answer needs to be yes, because the level of thinking that got you to where you are today will not get you to where you go tomorrow. You got to level up, as they say, get new information, and your mentors are comfortable with your future and your friends are comfortable with your present. So don't count on your friends saying, hey, take this course, jump on that, because they're used to you the way you are. You need a mentor's voice in your mind, or somebody that says to you, yes, invest in yourself. And as you know, Annette, we talk about 10% of what you earn should be invested in yourself. You and I are on courses all the time learning. But sadly, a lot of people don't and aren't programmed to invest in themselves. So like, I'll invest in entertainment. I'll invest in relaxing and time off, but invest in myself. Ooh, I don't know. So I'd say that's the first thing is, can I and will I do it? And the answer has to be yes.
Yep, agreed. Again, if you are at all unsure, if you're sitting on the fence saying, I don't know if this program is really going to help me, there is no risk. You absolutely can either get your money back or put 100% of what you pay towards any of our higher level masterminds. What we really want to do is get to know you. What we really want to do is help you achieve a goal. What we really want to do is for you to get to know us and like us and trust us and surprise yourself with the achievements that you're able to achieve in 90 days.
Yeah, and Annette, you and I have been doing this for about 5 years together. I've been doing personal development for 30 years, and you for many decades. And we continue to tweak and crystallize this process. We've created, almost 100 millionaires through this process. And the first step is you've got to start this relationship with people. I say to people, hey, if you want to improve your golf game, you can go hire Tiger Woods at $1 million an hour, or you can go to your local pro and you can get some really good tips. You have to decide what is the right environment for you today.
People often are going to say that they don't have enough time to participate in a program like this. What do you say to people when that's their consideration?
Well, I say the reason you're saying that is one of the solutions is going to be hidden within this course is for you to change that narrative. There's 24 hours in the day, and saying that actually is giving up your power to your environment. And so we train people actually to change that conversation and believe that they do have the time. We show people that, yeah, you know what, you can be listening to part of the content, which is an hour and 15 minutes while you're in the car or working out. You can make it happen. So we find ways to get you to be more productive when we teach you how to increase the results in your life. So first of all, if you're saying that, then you have to be in this course because that's not serving you to have that kind of inner narrative. You'll never find me saying, oh, I don't have enough time. You'll say, I'm committed, I'm fully booked. That's not within my zone of genius. And thank you, but no thank you. The more you say yes to things that don't matter, the more you say no to the things that do matter, your family and friends. So we're going to show you how to turn that narrative around and dominate your calendar and become the badass that you deserve to be.
Okay, Rock, let's talk about money.
Okay, so another reason that people hesitate is that they haven't developed this habit of investing in themselves. And as we teach, 10% goes to your personal education. But if you're not there and you're thinking yet, then often it's like, oh, I don't have the money. And if you're struggling with money, investing in yourself seems sometimes like $1 million. I remember the first time I invested $100,000 to be coached by Tony Robbins. In my brain, it might as well have been 10 million. But I went up to them and I said yes to the course. And then we started to figure out a way, and I ended up being able to pay monthly, not for 12 months. They gave me a break for 18 months. And I think that the first thing is most people that are struggling think of cost versus ROI. And I thought ROI, if I could get close to Tony Robbins, if I could be with people that were close to Tony Robbins, if I could go on trips around the world with Tony Robbins, what's the return on that investment? It would be massive. And sure enough, within 3 months, I got one tip from one multimillionaire in the group that made me $100,000 a year for the next 7 years. Now, I was thinking like this, like a thousandaire, but he was thinking like a millionaire. And he was able to point something out to me that was actually right there in front of me. All I had to do was one meeting, not do any more work, and I started making an extra $10,000 a month. So it's not the money, it's the mindset. It's not the investment. It's, will you spend the money on entertainment or will you invest the money on education? And that's a fundamental decision that comes. It's a shift that needs to happen, that I am worth it. And I do need to improve my skills because skills pay the bills. And this does feel right. And it's 100% guaranteed. So you move from hesitation, because he who is hesitates loses, to jumping off the cliff, growing your wings on the way down, and figuring out that with new information, you get to create a new you. So it's not about the money. It's about the belief behind the hesitation. So for me, I say invest in yourself. There's no better investment.